are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
And your name?
My name is Tawatha Malachi.
Oh, so you're Tawatha. Oh, okay. All right. Let me just make sure I, write you down. Pull up your case really quickly. Okay. Yes. You're here for your 10:30 appointment. Okay. Awesome. Hello, Tawatha. My name is Shirley Temple, and well, you can call me Cheryl. But my name is Shirley Temple, and I am honored to be your therapist today. Thank you for choosing me when you signed up, and I am more than happy to be of service. So, what brings you in today?
Well, there's a lot that's on my mind. I'm struggling.
Okay, struggling. If you don't mind me asking, what are you struggling with?
I'm struggling with I'm struggling with letting go. I'm struggling with letting go of things that I know no longer serve me. I'm trying
Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't.
I'm trying to I'm trying to continue my walk with God.
Mm-hmm. I did read in your file that you're struggling with some addictions to what was it? Yeah, marijuana, and you were looking to quit so that you can please God, right?
I threw everything out. All the weed, all the fun, all the papers, and then I bought it all back again. Well, I've been trying to cope, but not in a good way. I'm going through heartbreak, and not even just a heartbreak. It's the process of losing people that I really love and care for due to betrayal and the stretching of this faith walk in Christ. It's the pressure of having to make the right decision. It's the pressure of staying 10 toes on that right decision. And for me, I had to make a decision on being sober so God can use me.
Mm-hmm.
Because in His Word, it does say to be sober minded and vigilant. But the devil prowls around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And I'm struggling with saying no. I'm struggling with telling my flesh no. I'm struggling with getting myself just to fast. The point that I'm making here is I'm crying out in a way that I'm too ashamed to say with words. I'm ashamed of the fact that I still want to hold on to something that I'm being called to let go of. I'm ashamed to admit that I still like these things. I'm ashamed to admit that I still want to get high, even though I'm not supposed to. It's hard for me to it's easy, but it's hard because I'm compromised. And because I'm compromised, it's holding me back. And it's painful because I do want to dive all the way in. Every time I commit this sin, I feel too dirty to dive in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This morning we had a prayer line. I'm always on prayer line every Saturday morning. And, I smoke like I normally do in the morning. But this time is different. This time when I did smoke, I was fine reading my piece up until I noticed how long everything was and how the words started to seem conjumbled. And I felt like I was losing my breath as I was reading. And I stopped reading. And to help fill in the gaps of silence, I explained that I'm going through a struggle and I'm trying. But really, I was fighting anxiety because I just, the longer I read, the harder it got to fight through it. And I feel so ashamed of it. Like, I could tell they were waiting for me to finish, but I never did. I never did. I felt ashamed of it because I was upset that anxiety was trying to get me. And normally it doesn't when I'm reading. Normally I'm able to fight through that, but I wasn't able to today. And I was angry with myself for holding on to something so hard that the doors are opening that shouldn't. So, let me ask you something. Why do you think that you're struggling with this addiction? I keep running to comfort because it's what I know. I don't know how to let God in all the way because I don't know how to be still. He says that we need to be enduring when we're tempted, but lately that's just been a struggle for me. Okay. And it's been a struggle for me because I'm tired of fight. I don't want to endure nothing. And I'm tired of feeling pain. I'm tired of feeling frustration. I'm tired of feeling like I'm behind. I'm tired of feeling like I'm just not doing enough or not good enough. And I'm tired of struggle. So I run to it. Even though I say over and over that I'm going to stop, but I don't end up stopping. Yeah, I can totally understand how frustrating that is, especially, you know, dealing with unexpected anxiety. And it can come at any time. You don't even necessarily have to be under the influence of something. You can be sober and battle anxiety. I have many clients that come to me all the time explaining to me how they often find themselves fighting anxiety, especially when they're put on the spot about something or have to perform or anything like that. And usually that does stem from childhood trauma that can be unresolved. It's just something that affects a lot of adults in today's society, especially with everything going on, with the news and everything like that. So I understand, and you're not alone with that. I definitely understand, and it's very reasonable to feel how you feel. Definitely. Let me just. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How do you feel when you look at yourself? Like, how do you feel about yourself in general, like as a whole? How do you view yourself? There we go. How do you view yourself? When I look in the mirror, I try to love what I see, but sometimes I hate what I see. Sometimes I don't feel pretty enough. I mean, I've been trying to lose weight and, you know, I've been trying to get back on track. But it just seems so difficult to lose the weight. I feel like I've been doing everything right. I don't eat as much as I used to.
Yeah, I listen, you are not alone. Tell me, have you seen a doctor about your difficulties with trying to lose weight? Um, have you been diagnosed with anything in the past? Uh, are you are you taking any medication that may possibly contribute to your weight gain? Um, just want to get an idea and see what it is exactly that you are dealing with because, maybe I can help point you in the right direction.
Well, the doctors suspect that I have PCOS, but I told them I had a positive pregnancy test. But every time they test me, it comes back negative, and they refuse to give me an ultrasound, even though my cycle has been irregular for the past 7 months now.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I definitely understand. So, Tawatha, is there do you know of any possibilities as to why your cycle hasn't come back? Um, have you had any unprotected sex recently or had any medical incidents as to where your cycle may be imbalanced? Have you been stressing a lot more than normal? Um, you know, what do you think the reason is for your cycle not coming back? Because oftentimes we as women, when we stress, it does affect our menstrual cycles tremendously. And I'm worrying that perhaps due to the immense amount of stress, I mean, from what you've told me thus far, but I mean, due to the immense amount of stress that you've been under, I'm concerned that perhaps that could be one of the main culprits, if not the main culprits, as to why you are experiencing irregular cycles. So feel free to let me know if anything about your medical history, and perhaps we can get down to the bottom of this, shall we?
I had an ectopic pregnancy last year in March, and it had to be surgically removed. And ever since then, my period was fine up until September, end of September, and then the months after it's just been irregular. I mean, a month later from September, I did have a positive test, but when I went to the urgent care and everything like that, from then on, it's just been a bunch of negatives. Well, I mean, I had a vision about carrying a kid, and it was a boy. Um, People around me have had dreams that I was giving birth to a baby and whatnot. My ex-boyfriend's two aunts even had dreams about it, but every time I go get checked out, I test negative for everything. I request an ultrasound. They don't want to do it because the tests are negative. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I am. But what I do know is it's really hard to kick this weight.
Mm. Wow, yes. Ectopic pregnancies can be it can be very stressful and life altering. So I definitely understand. But Tawatha, tell me, and I want you to be honest. do you really want to change? I mean, based off of everything you told me so far, they are indeed very valid reasons as to why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. But, I sense a desire in you to change. But the question is, do you want to change? Do you really want change? Or what is it that you want, Tawatha?
I do want to get better, and I'm actively trying. Sometimes I just feel like it's just not good enough because I know I'm still holding on to what I know I need to let go of. But the truth is, I keep running to comfort because it's what I know. I don't know how to let God in all the way because I don't know how to be still. He says that we need to be enduring when we're tempted, but lately that's just been a struggle for me. And it's been a struggle for me because I'm tired of fight. I don't want to endure nothing. And I'm tired of feeling pain. I'm tired of feeling frustration. I'm tired of feeling like I'm behind. I'm tired of feeling like I'm just not doing enough. I'm not good enough. And I'm tired of struggle. So I run to it. Even though I say over and over that I'm going to stop. But I don't end up stopping.
Tawatha, in order to achieve change, you have to grow. It's like working out. And I tell my clients this all the time, by the way. But and not to mention, I do have a few gym sharks. But seriously, on a serious note, if you want to change, it's like training your muscles. You cannot expect to see growth if you're not constantly putting pressure on that muscle and causing the muscle to tear when you're lifting those heavy weights and feeding that muscle with the nutrients it needs in order to rise. You'll never see a difference, a physical change, if you're not working out, right? And that's kind of what it's like with this journey of life. If you want to see change, well, you have to work out. And if you don't work out, you're not going to see any results. Do you understand that, Tawatha?
I understand.
You see, it's very imperative that we learn how to healthily process our emotions, because if we don't, it leads to, like you were just stating, unhealthy habits and coping mechanisms, and that doesn't always turn out good in the long run, you know? You see, Tawatha, I want you to try replacing those time frames where you have the urge to want to do that unhealthy coping mechanism with something positive, like going outside or writing.
Okay.
I want you to find your purpose. And I often tell my clients this, but your purpose is often found in your niche. And what is your niche? Your niche is something that, you're naturally very good at. And, for some people it's acting. Some people it's singing. Some people it's cooking. Some people it's, whatever it may be. I want you to look into yourself, Tawatha. And I want you to find what brings you true joy and passion. And then I want you to cultivate it and bring it to life. Because you see, the purpose is your breeding ground. And when you use that pain and that suffering that you feel, that turmoil, and you put that energy, you convert that energy into positivity, and you put it into your craft, who's to say that you won't just take off and skyrocket, Like, achieving your dreams is really what you want to do, Tawatha, but you're holding yourself back. And you're holding yourself back because you're longing for something that has already passed away, Tawatha. And let me break this down to you. Because, I tell my clients this all the time as well. In fact, I actually have another girl. Her name is Naya. And I'm not allowed to, break confidentiality, but I will say that you and Naya share some very similar characteristics and qualities, and you are experiencing a very similar journey. She's also a believer in Christ. And here's what I'll say, and this is what I tell her, and I do tell my clients as well, but this is what I tell her: if it ain't aligned, it ain't divine. So understand what that really means, what I'm saying. If something is not for you, it will continuously cause you a destruction of peace, and it will cause you discomfort until you finally let it go. And Tawatha, I tell Naya this all the time, it is so scary to let go because you're so used to the familiar. But you're religious, right? So in the Bible, it says that Lot's wife looked back. And when she looked back, she became a pillar of salt. Now, does this mean that she literally became a pillar of salt? Perhaps. But in your case, it would be figuratively. And your pillar of salt would look like permanent stagnation, a stunted growth, if you will, because you're afraid to take that leap of faith. And I want to share a story with you that I share with many of my clients, and I do believe it will give you hope. You see, Tawatha, when I was younger, when I was about 12 years old, I went to this camp called Camp High Rock, and they had this thing. They built this platform in the trees where you put on your harness and whatnot. You climb up the silver hooks in the tree trunk, all the way up until you get to this very high up platform. It's like a diving board, and they called it the leap of faith. And Tawatha, I'll tell you, I was so afraid to jump off. I mean, everybody else, there was people that was scared though, but they were jumping off. But when I got up there, all of my confidence and me thinking I could do it, it just said, "Ew." And girl, when I tell you, I sat on that plank that they had built up there as a platform, and I just was like not wanting to do it. And the counselors were around me and they were telling me, listen, the only way you can get off is if you jump. So you know what I had to do, Tawatha? I had no choice but to jump. And it was scary initially, but I made it. And when I made it, I found that I was still alive. My heart was still beating. I was intact. And you want to know the best part? I made it to the other side of the very thing that I was afraid of. And you know what came after that? A liberating sense of freedom. And that freedom is what stuck to me. It became addictive. It let me know that I can achieve all things. And Tawatha, you can too achieve all things if you focus. And it's so easy to be distracted in this world, but the more you minimize your distractions, Tawatha, and the more that you stop running from your pain, Tawatha, because I tell Naya this all the time, the more that you stop running from your pain, Tawatha, girl, you'll be unrecognizable. But it starts with you. And as hard as it is to make that decision, because believe me, Tawatha, I know. I personally even struggle still. But the more you keep telling yourself and you take your prayers to God and you keep telling yourself that you want to change and you start taking the baby steps. Because the thing is, Tawatha, don't get caught up in having to do this whole great grand finale of, oh, I'm just gonna do everything at once. Don't do that. Because that's when you're the most susceptible to falling backwards. So, Tawatha, I challenge you today to take that first baby step of whatever it may be. Even if you're just decreasing your amount of how much you do it, how much you smoke, how much you drink, whatever it is that, you do aside from what you just told me. Start by decreasing it little by little. Start by making it wait. And you just tackle your day with something that you wouldn't normally do. And watch the transformation in your life. Be encouraged, Tawatha, because I see something great in you. And according to your Bible, it does say, no weapons formed against you shall prosper. So, Tawatha, lean in on that truth. And that story you told me was beautiful. Know that God is waiting for you with loving arms. And you say you want to live for God and stuff like that. Well, honor that by still going. Keep going. Keep pressing on. Because you'll notice that the thing that you're worried about right now, you'll notice that it fell off somewhere in the mist. And you won't find yourself missing it. Because you will finally find what makes you whole. But you have to allow yourself to arrive to that destination. If you let what makes you weak right now, if you let your failures and your setbacks hold you down, how can you ever grow? That's like putting a book on top of a plant, a little baby sprout. How can that plant shoot upwards if this heavy weight is smashing it back down to the ground? So tonight, Tawatha, I want you to go home and I want you to think about that. And I want you to write. Find a journal. And you can go to 99-cent store. Get you a journal. Get you a piece of paper. Or use the notes app in your phone. And I want you to write. And when you write, watch as your vision pieces together. And ask God what you want. And start taking the baby steps to it. And watch your life change. Okay. Thank you. Well, that concludes our time for today. Tawatha, it was a pleasure meeting with you, and I'll see you next week.